Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel for Rising with Dawn Dance Co. So happy to have you here. Today, as promised, I'm here to give my review and opinions of DCC Making the Team, Season 16, Episodes 1 and 2. So if you're ready, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so again, welcome back to my channel. Again, I know that I haven't really been uploading a lot, but I've been super busy on other things, but I've been saying that I'm going to still do these reviews for the next season of DCC Making the Team, and I absolutely am here to do so. I want to start by saying everything discussed here are just my opinions. I'm not affiliated with DCC in any way, not the NFL, none of that. It's just me and my channel giving my opinion of my reviews. I know last year some people were commenting like, what makes you think you're qualified to speak on all this? I am. So that is why I'm here, and it's just pure fun. I really enjoy watching the show. If you're wondering where you can see the show, you can actually watch it on cmt.com if you don't have cable television, or you can watch it on the MTV app, and you can always go and see other past seasons on Pluto. They play it 24/7. All right, so I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into episode 1. Not gonna spend too much time on episode 1 because it's episode 1. So I'm just gonna briefly zoom through that one, and then we will get to discuss episode 2. And I will try going forward to do one episode at a time, but hey, don't shoot me if I don't. The next video you get might be episode 3 and 4. You never know. So just bear with me, but let's go ahead and get into episode 1. All right, so episode 1 opens with the rookies and the veteran candidates showing up at AT&T Stadium. Again, I called this last year. They said that online auditions worked so well last year that they decided to keep that same process this season. If you go back and watch any of my reviews from last season, I told you guys that more than likely, I don't see why they can't, keep doing it this way, because it absolutely worked out in their favor. They got some really strong dancers last season, and it looks so far like they've got some really strong ones now. All right, so if you are familiar with the show, then you've heard of Kelly and Judy. Kelly is the director, Judy is the choreographer. Kelly broke her foot, so she is getting around like on a little scooter and things like that. So I hope that she recovered well from that. They started by showing us some submissions from dancers all around the country who submitted their audition tapes, and the technique that is shown in some of these videos is absolutely amazing. Also, they had some submissions from some older people who were actually auditioning as well. There were twins from Atlanta. I believe they were 57 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And then, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. Another woman who was 64 years old. She's like sitting in her chair knitting, and she's like, I just always wanted to try out. I always wanted to do this. So here I am. Bravo. Amazing. Always follow your dreams. It's never too late to follow your dreams. So speaking of technique, yes, the technique is great, but I could tell already with some of these dancers that hip hop is going to be a struggle. In episode 2, we get to that. But yeah, I could tell right off the bat. I always can tell. So they had 51 candidates total that they brought into training camp. Kelly expressed to them that they need to be prepared to be physically and mentally pushed to the max this season. And I mean, that's usually with any season, but again, they have some really strong candidates this year, and she really wanted to stress that now that we're all back together, back on this field, doing things kind of back to normal, you're gonna be pushed. They ran through the list of all the guest choreographers that are going to be coming onto the show, which, we'll touch on them as they come. And they expressed that for the first time ever, they're going to have a judges showcase, which they haven't done in the past. If you've watched any previous season of DCC, you know that they always are able to do their solo routines, but this was actually a judges showcase. So they had a full panel of judges actually judging the performance of the candidates. They got to show their own style, their own showmanship, their own strengths, which was really good to watch and really fun to watch, actually. The judges consisted of people from their media team, team ownership, other dance pros, things like that were all a part of this judging panel. It was really good to see some familiar faces, Miss Laura Rose and those heels, the yes mama, get it. And of course my fave, Armani. She did amazing. I just really love her. After all that was said and done, they performed their pregame routine for the judges, and they also did the kick line in front of the judges, because as we know, that is the signature thing for the DCC. They didn't mention it, but just from a viewer standpoint watching, it looked like some of those kicks were a little bit off. They weren't centered. There were a lot of flexed feet. I was not impressed with some of those kicks, but I'm pretty sure that they touched on that as far as feedback to the ladies, but just observing, I wasn't feeling the kicks. So hopefully they'll get stronger as time goes on. All right, and then they had a few situations with some injuries and things like that. Long story short, nobody got cut. They just had some conversations with some people that got a little sick, a little dizzy, like don't let it happen again, you know, make sure you're taking your care of yourself, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much that, episode 1 in a nutshell, all right? So let's get into episode 2. All right, so episode 2 opens up. They just got to their first real night of camp. So this is the first night that Kelly and Judy are actually sitting in front of them, taking notes, giving feedback, things like that. The first round was just rookies only. I thought it was kind of funny. Kelly like told them like, you know, just relax, feel the music, like no worries. I just want you to have a good time. Don't pay too much attention to us writing our notes down. Just do you, do good, perform. We are looking for performance. Melissa was there. Again, if you watch DCC Making the Team, you know who Melissa is. She's always about showmanship and performance. So that's what she was there to watch, to make sure that they were performing. Show us how you're going to show your performance to all of these fans in this building, okay? And I thought it was kind of funny because she told them to relax, but then they had notes given back to the girls, and it was like making them really, really nervous. But I mean, the notes weren't wrong, they're observations, but I just thought that was kind of funny. They performed in 3 groups, I believe, and group 1 was pretty strong for the most part. There were a couple mistakes, but their recovery was really, really good. And they were performing so powerfully and so confidently that you kind of really didn't know if they were making a mistake. I always tell girls that I've coached in the past or things like that, like, no one should know when you mess up, right? Your performance should speak for itself. So I definitely think they did a really good job. Group 2 was a little bit on the messy side with their performance. And yeah, they were like night and day kind of compared to group 1. Almost like they were watching group 1 from another room and got really, really nervous. Like they were just scared for some reason. I don't know. But group 3 was kind of like a mixture of both. Like there were some strong people and there were some really weak people. So it was like a combo platter of everything, right? For the most part, everybody did okay. There were no calls into the office. They all got to go to bed that night and come back the next day. So good for them. Something that they showed were that they had alumni hosts, home hosts this year because there were so many people traveling to Texas from other states. And I thought that was really, really cool and really nice and sweet that they were able to reach out to some alumni to open their home for some of the rookie candidates who didn't have a place to stay yet. I thought that was really good because you're able to kind of build a camaraderie with somebody who's already been on the team, who already knows the ins and outs of the team, who may have had experiences with not making the team, making the team. They've been through the process so they can relate to you when you come home crying or you're sad or you're mad, whatever. They can relate. So I think that's really awesome. All right, so the next thing is just showing them kind of checking their board like they do. They kind of swipe through everybody, give their feedback, yes, no, whatever, how they feel about everybody. Again, they didn't make any cuts at this point in time, but they did actually go through the board and kind of tick off and give their scores of who they think are the strongest and who's the weakest. All right, so next the veterans are coming in and they are all down on the turf now. In this scene, they have their first guest choreographer, Brittany Perry Russell. She's worked with Rihanna, Beyonce, all of that good stuff. She's there to teach a hip hop jazz funk routine. And I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. But it wasn't as bad as, you know, I've seen it in the past when it comes to hip hop. So they've been doing their homework a little bit. Let me say this for those who are new to my channel or new to my videos when I talk about hip hop. For me, I always say that hip hop is underestimated in dance, just in the studio community and things like that. If I'm even more frank with how I feel about hip hop in studios, is that usually there is a teacher or an instructor who is also not well versed or well trained in hip hop, teaching hip hop to kids, and they come up learning the style and technique incorrectly. Hip hop dance and choreography has a technique just like ballet, just like your modern contemporary, just like your jazz. And my wish is that studios start to pay more attention to who they hire to teach hip hop in their schools or in their dance schools, in their dance studios, because it's just as important. So if there's any studio owners watching this video right now, take heed to that. Think about who you're hiring. You wouldn't just hire somebody off the street who doesn't know tap, who doesn't know ballet well, to teach ballet technique to your students. So you should really think the same way when it comes to hip hop, and really make sure that you are hiring people who are teaching the technique correctly and teaching it so that when they get into situations like this, that they are doing a good job and they know how to execute those styles of choreography. It's just my note. All right, so Brittany, she stressed how everything just needs to be big, like nothing can be too small. Some of the girls did okay, were really strong and powerful, and you know, they knew the assignment. They got the assignment right, okay? Others were a little weaker, a little, you know, scared. There was one veteran in particular, I think her name was Madeline. Yes, she stressed, oh, it's outside of my comfort zone. And Brittany's like, outside of your comfort zone means absolutely nothing. And that's the truth. Like, it shouldn't be. It should be just as important as everything else. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can have great technique, but a terrible performance, terrible showmanship. It's all encompassing. It all has to matter in these situations, okay? But she let Madeline go again, and Madeline did great the second time around. You know, sometimes it takes a little boost of confidence and another chance for somebody to really like feel like, okay, I can do this, because you get nervous. You know, especially if it is outside of your comfort zone, you rightfully so get nervous to perform. You psych yourself out. You start thinking about things. Just like they were saying about Kaylee. Kaylee is a rookie candidate who it's always written all over her face every time she dances that she's nervous or she's scared or she's unsure. You know what I'm saying? And again, if I'm being quite honest, I'm rooting for everybody black. But Kaylee is somebody to watch. She's definitely struggling a little bit. I'm not gonna be biased and say that, you know, she doesn't need to work and get a little bit better and a little bit stronger, because she absolutely does. So again, if you are somebody who is going to be auditioning for a dance team or professional team, you need to keep that in mind, that it's all encompassing. You got to be the full package, right? Or you got to at least be strong in all areas, and maybe stronger in some, but you got to be strong in all areas. Okay. Their favorites to watch were Gina and Armani. You know, I love Armani. They said that she was given life, and I'm like, yeah, that's what she does. You know what I'm saying? That's what she does. So good job to them. And then after that, they performed their sideline routines for Brittany so that she can kind of see them in their element and in their comfort zone, how they perform and how they do. Then she joined them at the board to kind of give scores, her opinion on who should stay, who should go, yes, no, maybe so, all of those good things. So that's where we were with that. Okay, so they stressed that it's definitely going to be a cut night. They've got to start narrowing the team down. They don't want to get too attached to any of the ladies, and they definitely didn't. They got straight to the point. They called in Bree, Aaron, and Madison. She spells it with a Y. I think that's so cute. Madisyn. I've never seen that before. That's super cute. But they all got called into the locker room, which, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was kind of mean to bring them into the locker room and let them see. And then could have went to another room, a conference room or something, I don't know. So in the end, all three ladies were cut. They took it very well. Like I said, Kelly and Judy got straight to the point. Like, your technique and your showmanship is not showing the same way that it showed on your submission videos, which of course you got time to practice and make yourself look good and do take after take after take on the video. So I get it. But they had to make the cut, and they did, and the ladies took it graciously and said that they will come back and come back stronger next year, and I'd love to hear that. So just keep pushing and you'll get there. So next week they just show that they're going to be focused on kicks and the kick line. They do have another guest choreographer coming in. Well, not next week, I guess this week, in a couple days. And again, I'll be back to give my review. If I'm not back next week with this next episode, then it'll be the week after with episodes 3 and 4. Okay? So again, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed already. Drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts of the show. Be nice, be kind, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.